Hello, all you Hellraisers out there, and all the newcomers. Welcome to the channel. For the video for what I got for y'all today is the abortion debate. My take on abortion, and I got a little video. I got some words to say about abortion. Okay, maybe a little bit of a long video. Who knows? But stay tuned. Um, So let's see. I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna give you two scenarios, and then I'm gonna give you some perspectives, and then those perspectives bring their own arguments or whatever. And then we're gonna talk about abortion in itself, and yeah. But anyways, let's get on with the scenarios. The first scenario I'm gonna give you: imagine yourself as you're the man of the relationship or the marriage. You get your wife pregnant or your girlfriend pregnant, and she doesn't tell you until after her abortion. Now, let that sink in. How would that make you feel, first of all? And what would your reaction be? Comment down below and let me know. I'm curious to see what the audience or the people think about this subject. Now, in the second scenario, imagine you're a woman. You're at a party, you get stoned, and you get raped. You get pregnant, and then you end up and you decide you want to have an abortion. Now, let's see, how would that make you feel if you're in the woman's shoes? Would you get an abortion, or would you not get an abortion? Or would you adopt? There's a lot of options regardless of what scenario you're in that you have in the bounds of how you react. It's how you react to these situations that make it worse or better. Those are the scenarios. Now, so there's some other perspectives of, and how do we see abortion? Do we see it as immoral? Do we see it as murder, which would tie into immoral or whatever? Or do we see it as just, or do we see it as the ultimate opportunity to express our free will? These questions we have to ask ourselves. How do we see abortion? Is abortion bad? Let's say another perspective would be that your girlfriend can't conceive, and puts her at harm's way. We're constantly faced with the moral objective, or the moral choices in general. Is this good or bad? And I think at the end of the day, it comes down to our intuition. Intuitively, we know that this should from wrong. Why is that? You can come up with multiple theories. The simple theory is that higher power, such as God, we're bound to Him or whatever. That would be that simple argument. But anyways, let's not get too hooked up on intuition. But intuitively, we know right from wrong, and that's our soul speaking out in terms length. Now let's define abortion. Abortion defined is by Google standards is defined as ending of one's pregnancy. Now, ending of one's pregnancy, how does that go about? Those words doesn't necessarily say kill in that, or destructive, or cut, or not manipulate, but mutilate oneself. That doesn't say that, but we know what an abortion is physically. I don't know if anybody's seen the pictures of an abortion, But they're not pretty, to say the least, depending on what how far you are in your pregnancy. Now the law, depending on what state, but the I think the federal law is that it can be performed up to the third trimester. Now the third trimester is where the baby is pretty much formed and growing organs at that point, pretty much, not really consciously awake, pretty much, but still, it's alive, well alive, heartbeat and everything. But now, should we, from a moral perspective, should we lower the limit, or should we ban abortion entirely? Because we're asked. You got to ask yourself: do you want to play God every day? Because essentially, given giving them that option is pretty dangerous to the woman and to everybody else. Because when we start to play God and reward it, we have gone too far. That's not our place. But you have the choice to, free will wise, you have the choice to decide who lives and who dies. You will have repercussions. But abortion is essentially making that choice legal. Now, the moral argument for abortion would be, or against abortion it's against abortion. Morally, it's wrong. It's murder. That's what essentially it is, because at the third trimester, how they do it is much different from what you would see in a week. Granted, that's different. But at the third trimester, they mutilate the baby and pull it out piece by piece. With that said, think about that. And think about the meaning of life, and science would say something else, and to try to justify abortion. At the end of the day, it's just what type of argument do you have to try to justify? At the end of the day, morally, you can't justify murder. I mean, not not blatantly murder, but self-defense may be the only argument you have. But at the end of the day, murder, besides that, is immoral. Maybe understandable in certain scenarios, but at the end of the day, it's immoral. We know that we shouldn't murder, we shouldn't steal. At the end of the day, this is a very simple argument to make, but it is it's a conversation to have. I certainly believe it's a conversation to have that people need to have. I don't think we need to bash women. Now, hear me out. The reason they have that much, they have the choice. They have an option. Now, the good option is never going to be the easy option. It's always going to be the hard option. And this is about responsibility. And you want to go the easy way out, you can. You have that option. America is pretty much the stamp of free will. It's a true country that express true power of free will, in my personal opinion and my personal experience. But abortion, we give this decision to the women, and people who are for the pro-choice don't realize how much pressure they're putting on their own women, because women have to wake up with that, and they're facing backlash on all cylinders. Look at it that perspective, because a woman, they're also faced with this decision. And what would you do? I mean, it's very stressful, but also very tempting to go the easy way out. But it's also, very nerve wracking because in some circles, circles of communities would shun people who have abortions. But there is some justifications for it, like if a girl gets raped, or if she can't medically have a kid. There's some logical arguments, but from my personal experience and opinion, those are the only two arguments I see that's validated. But at the end of the day, do we want to give all the choice to the woman? Because I personally think that universally it takes two to create and reproduce, essentially what I'm saying. But it should also be as much as choice as the woman's as it is the man. I think the man has much as uh, authority to choose to whether they want to abort the kid. If they both want to abort it or not abort it, power to them. I think that's fair, and we got to look at the fairness and the moral argument here. Those are the two things that win. And this simply solves the problem, in my personal opinion. But um, you know, it's rough out there, and it's however you look at it. It's very messy conversation to have. That's what I have to say about abortion. It's quite frankly, the law says it's legal, okay? But do I disagree with that law? Absolutely. But you also understand that women, they have this choice to make, and we hold it up to them. I think it should be half and half. I really do. A lot of women would disagree with me on that. You have as much power to disagree with me on that because, you are the life bearers. But need I remind you, we are the life givers too. So it's about duality, and it's about, we also got to think about the kid. And the kid, we're taking essentially stopping a potential life, and also taking all the choices he would have made from him, and taking that away from her or him. And you really, at the end of the day, we have to look at it and come to a compromise about this subject. It's very important. um, a lot of people would argue, some theories I've heard is that they're using abortion as a population control tactic. You could easily argue for that. But let me know down in the comments what you think about it, and your personal experiences. I've had friends or not friends, I've known friends who had friends who had abortions, and it takes a very toll on the person who does it and the family around them. I think we need to be considerate. I think Christians or religious people in general, as a whole, need to stop barking and shouting and try to understand why they had an abortion. And I think people who does have an abortion or considering it should reconsider and evaluate yourself as well, and the repercussions. It's very important, and I think that's what I have to take away from it. Debate me on it in the comment section. I'm more than willing. Let me know what you would like else to debate about. The channel's open up for all types of debates, whether it be political, philosophical, religious, scientific, or about comics or movies. I'm down for all of it. I like to to get people to think and to open up in discussions. That's what this channel's about. And at the end of the day, we stay in frosty. Enjoy this show, and God bless.